Hello and welcome to Prime Code Media. This is the third episode of our CSS for Beginners series. My name is Sana Mapena. In this video, I'm going to show you how to insert and use external CSS to style a web page. In our previous episode, we discussed the internal CSS, and I explained that you define CSS inside the style element, which should always be inside the head section of your web page. And we finished off our previous episode with a question, and the question was, what if now we want to style multiple pages? And the answer to that question is that you'll have to follow this process inside each and every one of those pages. It doesn't matter how many those pages are, you'll have to go inside each and every one of those pages and follow this process that I've just explained right here. For example, I am using an HTML only website which I created as part of our HTML for Beginners series, and this website is made up of 3 pages. It has the index.html page, which is our home page. Here is the home page. Now it also has the hobbies and the contacts page. Here is the hobbies and the contacts page. For example, let's just open the contacts page. Here is the contacts page. You can see that the contacts page has a white background, and this is because if you check the contacts page, there's nothing inside the head section. There is no styling. We did not insert internal CSS, and that is why the contacts page has not been styled. It does not have styling. So to style this web page, we would have to come here inside the head section, use the style element. After inserting the style element, we will have to go back into the index.html page and then copy the CSS code inside this style element here, and then go back to the contacts.html page and then paste everything, and then save our work, and then go check if everything is working as expected. Refresh. Now it is only now that the contacts page is styled. The background color has changed, the horizontal rule has changed. Now this contacts page is styled just as the index.html page has been styled, and then we will have to do this inside each and every one of these pages. Imagine if your website or the website that you are working on has 8 pages, then you will have to go into each and every one of those 8 pages and follow this process, and that will be a lot of work. And apart from that being a lot of work, there's also a high possibility of errors, so which is why external CSS offers us a better option. And this is because external CSS enables us to use a single style sheet to style multiple HTML web pages. For example, if it's a 5-page website, we will be able to style the whole website from a single style sheet, and that is fantastic. So that's a better option than using internal CSS. Now, how do we insert external CSS? To insert external CSS, the first thing that I am going to do, I am going to create a new folder, and this folder is going to be inside our main website folder. I'm going to do that by right clicking on this folder and then select new folder. And then I'm simply going to name this folder CSS and then click enter. Now inside here I have a new folder. This is the CSS folder, and this CSS folder is on the same level as these other files here. As it is on the same level as the index.html file, as well as the hobbies and the contacts files. Now inside this CSS folder, I am going to create a file. I'm going to do that by right clicking on the folder and then select new file, and then I am going to name this file styles.css, and then click enter. Now inside this new folder, I have a new file. This is the styles.css. Now this styles.css is going to carry everything that has to do with the styling. So everything that we want to write in terms of styling our web page will be inside this file. Now, how do we link this file with these other files? Here's how we do that. I'm going to go into our index.html file, and then right here inside the head section, I am going to use autocomplete for this. I'm going to insert a link. Now, before we go ahead, let me just explain. When the browser reads this page from top to bottom, it will start here. First, it will read this and find, okay, it is the document type is HTML, and then it will move on to the next line and so on and so on. And then when it gets here, it will find out that this is a link. And then inside this link, it will find this rel attribute. The rel attribute stands for relation, which defines the relationship between this current document and a document linked to it. Now it will move on to here, and this is the href attribute. The href attribute stands for hypertext reference, and it specifies the URL or the destination of the link. Now what will happen is that now the browser will know that, okay, this style sheet is inside the CSS folder. I'm just going to remove this / here. The reason why I'm removing this / here is because the / refers to the root of the website. So we'll discuss the root when we get to JavaScript. Now the browser will know that, okay, we'll read this and say, okay, this style sheet is inside a folder called CSS. This is the folder, and the name of the file is, it is not master.css. We are going to change this. Why? Because the name of the file, remember, is styles.css, not master.css. Styles.css. Remember, the href, as I said earlier, stands for hypertext reference, and it specifies the URL or the destination of the link. So this style sheet is inside a folder called CSS, and the name of this file is called styles.css. Now by so doing, we are able to link this page and this file right here. Now I am going to save the changes that I have made here, and then I am going to cut the CSS from in here. I'm going to take everything into the styles.css file and then paste it right here. I'm going to save my work and then go back into the index.html file. Inside the index.html file, I'm also going to delete this style element because we are no longer going to rely on it to style our page. So I'm going to save my work and then go back to my home page and refresh. As you can see, nothing has changed. It means despite making changes to our code, removing the internal CSS from the head section of our index.html page, and instead of using internal CSS, used external CSS and linked this page with this file, we still have this page styled as it was. So we have not lost our styling. So let's check these other pages. The hobbies and the contacts.html page, for example. Let me scroll down here and go into the contacts.html, refresh. So as you can see, it still has that internal CSS that we included earlier. So I'm just going to delete everything here. I'm going to delete everything here. Let's check if this page is back to how it was before we styled it. I'm going to refresh. I've just refreshed. Now I'm going to use external CSS to link it. To do that, I am just going to simply come in here and then include a link like we did inside the index.html. And then the only thing that I'm going to change is this /, which I said earlier refers to the root of our website, which is something that we will discuss when we get to JavaScript. And then I'm just going to change the name of this file to styles.css. Everything is fine. I'm saving my work. And then I am going to go back to the page and then refresh. And then there we go. We were able to style, and then we will do that also to our I'm just going to copy now this code here, come into the hobbies.html page inside the head section, paste everything. Let's just check the hobbies page. This is the hobbies page. It's not styled. The horizontal rule has not been styled. The background color is white. And then we are going to save our work, meaning that we are saving this line of code. And then refresh. And then voila. Now all our pages look the same. Now there is consistency in terms of our styling. And we were able to achieve all this by using external CSS, which is a better option because, for example, we were able to style this hobbies page by just inserting this line of code. And everything, all our styles are inside a single page, and we are able to use this single page to style our entire website. It really doesn't matter how many pages your website has. You might be working on a website that has 8 pages or 10 pages, whatever the number of pages, but you will be able to use a single style sheet to style the whole website. And that is what you are able to achieve with external CSS. In this episode, I showed you how to use external CSS to style your HTML pages, and as you've already seen, external CSS is a better option compared to inline and internal CSS, and this is because external CSS enables us to use a single style sheet to style multiple HTML web pages. Thank you so much, folks, for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click that bell icon to receive notifications when new videos come out. Let's code again next time. Goodbye.